On to the second fight on the main card, which is a middleweight bout between Andre Petroski going up against Micheal Gillmore. Andre Petroski is coming in at 5-2 and is the minus 470 favorite, whereas Micheal Gillmore is coming in at 6-3 with the plus 360 underdog tag. What do you think of this matchup?
I like this matchup, honestly. I like Petroski. He was actually my pick for his division, his weight class for the Ultimate Fighter, because mainly I'm a homer, and he's, according to the show, he lives 10 minutes away from where you and I live. So
Yeah.
we got to root for the hometown New Jersey boy. But Petroski is a great wrestler with serviceable striking. He throws big looping shots, but when he lands, he has KO power. At times, he gets a little sloppy and doesn't disguise his takedowns, and he also telegraphs his punches too much. Gilmore is taking the fight on short notice, but has good power, good strikes, and is the more accurate of the two fighters. He has decent takedown defense, but Petroski's wrestling is going to be too much for him. I think Petroski is going to make this fight I guess in kind of layman's terms, he's going to make this fight boring for the average fan, because he's going to get this fight to the ground. He's going to work for positions, work for some ground and pound, and then he's going to lay on Gilmore, which makes me think that I'm going to go with I am going with Andre Petroski by decision win.
Ooh, nice. I like that one.
Thank you.
First, I got Petroski. He is very basic on his feet. He uses the naked overhand left and likes to use that or the straight left to burst into the single leg entry for a takedown. He also uses the right hook in singular attempts whenever he is searching for a double leg takedown. His takedown attempts are always set up by a strike, and as I said before, his cardio is an issue where he tends to gas quickly and he starts dropping his hands often when he does that. He is very strong with his double leg and single leg takedowns. He likes to change levels when he's going for the single leg takedown. And then his motor is kind of different when he wrestles to when he's just striking. And he tends to, of course, use more energy when he's going with the wrestling than striking. But then you got Gilmore, who's a fighter who tends to always back up and loves to walk his opponents into his leg kicks. He's always on his lead foot and tends to get reckless in close contact and throw away too many haymakers with his chin in the air. His takedowns aren't too good, and he tends to look for the guillotine to attack takedown attempts, and he tends to bite on feints a lot. I think first you said it well. Petroski was one of the favorites going after his first fight, and then of course he slipped, gassed out, and lost in the semifinals. And then Gilmore was the guy who was an alternate on the Ultimate Fighter. He came in basically on a day or two notice and fought, and then basically got his ass kicked. I think he was just not ready to fight, but he took it anyway because it was just an option for him to try and get into the UFC.
Yeah.
And I can see why he was an alternate because of his tendencies. And really, like, the only thing that favors him, I think, is his leg kicks. But at the end of the day, I think even with his gas tank being suspect, I still like to favor Petroski with that minus 470 tag right there. And I think he's going to use the wrestling often. But I think what's going to happen is he's going to wrestle the first round. He's going to dominate, kind of just lay on him, strike a little bit, and then keep him from getting up. And then the second round, I think he's going to look for a finish. It's not going to be the finish you think it's going to be. He's going to look for a finish, wait for Gilmore to make a mistake trying to get up, because he's going to try and get up at all costs, because he's not going to want to lay all three rounds, or at least the first two. So I think Gilmore's going to give his back up, and then Petroski's going to take his back, and I think he's going to choke him out in the second round by rear naked choke. I think that's going to be the play there. You can also find a good odds for that with Petroski winning by submission. Now drop that minus 470 down, and it might even be in the pluses. If not, it'll be close to like a plus 110 or something like that. I have to look at it. I had it, and then it changed, but that's a good play there because I don't think he's going to knock him out.
Yeah,
there's a chance he could win by decision, but with him gassing out, I think the better play would be submission in the second round because Gilmore doesn't go well with people who wrestle him. Like he just lost basically because of that, and Petroski doesn't like throw much punches. He focuses right now on the wrestling side of his game plan and his jiu-jitsu. So for that, I got Petroski by second round rear naked choke submission.
Nice. I'd like to see Petroski come out a little more aggressive on the feet, though. It's been a while since the Ultimate Fighter filmed, so he's had time to like watch that tape. He's worked with world-class athletes, probably getting more invites to bigger gyms, and at least in our area, maybe the Gracie Academy over in Philly. But
I'm just thinking that,
yeah, I would think that he would be moving forward with his boxing. Like wrestling, he's great. Jiu-jitsu, getting a lot better. Like he's got good jiu-jitsu. The boxing, I would say serviceable. I don't think it's suspect. Gas tank, kind of hunky, little chink in his armor there. But I'd like to see that stand up evolve a little bit more. And if it does, he's a dangerous fighter going into this division.
Yeah, and if you look at the Renzo gym in Philly, there are like a bunch of guys that wrestle good, and then they box. They kind of learn the box there as like a second thing. You look at guys like even on this card, Pat Sabatini. You look at Paul Felder. You look at Sean Brady. These are guys that wrestle and then learn to add some striking to go with it to make a better game plan. And that would be a perfect thing for him to go there. Not that far away. It's right near Fishtown. So it's not even that far from the gym that he trains at now. And then he just refines that so he can add that to it. So he doesn't have to rely heavily on his wrestling.
Yeah.
And he can start striking and then using the striking to take people down or send. Like he already sets his wrestling up with the striking he has now, but now people are really only worried about his wrestling. So the game plan to just last for a round until he gas, and then they go to work after that. Because that's basically what happened in the semifinals.
I think we're going to see a more refined Andre Petroski. I think he's going to learn grow from maybe some of those holes that were pointed out in the show. And I think he's got a bright career, man. It'd be nice to get him on the show 10 minutes away from us. So, Andre, if you're listening, do the boys
hit us up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But let's move on to the